that way. But anyhow, so do you deserve to be happy? That is our question today. It to be This is one of those questions I've seen a lot, and actually I went off and at one time wrote out as an affirmation, I deserve to be happy. And that's actually what sparked the whole thought of, do I really deserve to be happy? Because happiness is not a um, it's not a state that happens to you. It is a state that you can generate. You are able to create your own happiness. You're able to create your own any type of emotion, any type of feeling. And that is because of where and how emotions are created. Like I said, people like to believe that emotions happen to them, and that's actually a very big uh, misconception. It's a false story we tell ourselves, and that is because how emotions actually generate is you have a circumstance. Say you had a door slammed in your face. You can either have a thought, which is what happens afterwards. Someone slams the door in your face, you immediately generate a thought. Your brain is constantly uh, generating thoughts. Some people say roughly about 60,000 different thoughts a day actually happen. Some people say less, some people say more. Um, I think it's close to 60,000 because there's two different types of thoughts going on. There's the conscious thought, there's the unconscious thought. Now, people like to think that unconscious means that it's the stuff that you're you're thinking, or that you have a little separate brain that floats around inside your big brain that just does its own little thing. And in all reality, no, I don't actually see the subconscious as being like that. I think it is just thoughts that your brain has that you are not paying attention to. An example of this is when go to drive to work. How many times have you driven to work and barely remembered the drive going there? You had both hands on your wheel. You weren't looking at your phone the whole time, but you took the exits that you always take. You make the turns you always make, and you park almost pretty much in the same parking spot that you always make. Or a lot of times that's where we realize all of a sudden our brain switches back into conscious mode because we've gotten to where we need to go. Now we need to make a decision on where we're going to park. So our brain has a lot of thoughts, and those thoughts are what generate emotions. So you have that door, slammed in your face. You either have the thought of, wow, he really hates me right now, or, wow, I guess they didn't want to talk, or you have a thought of, well, it's their loss. You have a choice of what you want to be able to feel, because you can either have the thought of, well, they're just really mad at me. What did I do wrong? You can have that thought. You can choose to have that thought. And when you have that thought, it's going to generate the sensations of anxiety of, oh no, what did I do? Uh, why am I, why am I in, what did I do to get myself into this bad spot? What did I do to get myself, um, to make this person mad at me? You may start having those thoughts. And a lot of our problems, especially people who are prone to anxiety, I believe, actually just let that thought go without actually even really processing the thought, really examining that thought. They just, oh, this person's mad at me. They don't like me. They're laughing at me. You see, you're in a group of people, and just this little three or four people suddenly just, they're kind of looking in your direction and they laugh. And we immediately put the thought, our brain will, a lot of times, if we're not paying attention, will immediately think, well, no, they're laughing at me. Great. I know I look goofy. I'm just, I don't know how to keep from looking this way. That's just the way I look. And you start having this whole snowball effect going down. And so you have the anxiety that you're feeling, and it grows and grows and grows. So taking back to the door slamming, You can take that person as being mad at you, and that being the emotion. That emotion then creates a response. And that response may be, well, I better go get some, go buy some beer, or go find a way to apologize to them, or make it up to them, or not ever come over to this place. You have a response that you're going to have to that emotion. It could be that you just shy away and you never come to that person, you never look at them ever again, or you go and uh, you have a different thought and have a different emotion, and you're like, oh, okay, well, and you just walk on and go, well, I'll talk to him later on down the road, apparently. And you may never even know that guy had the window, or had a window open, and a gust of wind came along and ripped the door out of his hand. Or maybe, there's always something that goes on, and a lot of times the thought that we have, the story that we tell ourselves, has nothing to do with what actually ended up happening. So once you have that response, you uh, generate the action. Actually, it's see, you have the thought, the emotion, the action. So you make an action. Your response to the event generates your action. So, and then from your action generates your results. So if you're wanting to have a better, to lack for lack of a better term, a better uh, outcome, you can't keep the same thought going on. So, do you deserve to be happy? Well, happiness have a happiness means different things to everybody. I mean, my emotional response will be something completely different than what yours. That's one reason why so many of us can go to, you and a friend can go to a movie, see the exact same movie at the exact same time. Y'all both sitting right next door to each other, and walk out of that movie theater, back when we were able to watch movies in a movie theater, walk out of the movie theater and have two completely different experiences with that movie. You may have thought it was the best, comedy around, and your friend's going, dude, that was just moronic. That same thing happens with with everybody else around you. You don't have the exact same experience. So to be able to be happy, you have to understand, first off, that what what's happening to you, what happened to you in the past, what's going to happen, whatever it is you're worried about, is entirely upon how you think and process the current situation. So do you deserve to be happy? If you want to be. Some people, honestly, they don't give themselves permission to be happy. They want to go around and see that the world is this horrible place. They want to walk around and they want to feel nothing but that anxiety. They are actually, believe it or not, whether they like to say that it is, they are emotionally very comfortable in being anxious to get themselves out of anxiety and to all of a sudden feel calm and peace. People often start wondering, oh, great, when's the next shoe going to fall? What's fixing to happen? I'm feeling too good that something bad's going to happen. And that's a programming from way back, even before we were even walking the earth, and we had our ancestors were always worried, that they were going to get eaten by something else, or they were going to have another tribe come along and conk them on the head and run off with their women. There's all these. When we had something good, we realized a lot of times we would let our defenses down, and when we let our defenses down, bad things would happen. And so we built the programming up of, holy crow, something bad's about to happen. I'm feeling way too good about this. While you can also give yourself permission to actually be okay to be happy. So do you deserve to be happy? Well, that really depends on whether you want to be happy or not. You may want to tell yourself, I deserve to be happy, but if you're walking around looking for a cloud in every silver lining, you're not actually going to ever have the chance to be happy. You're not going to be able to attain that happiness because you're too worried about making sure that your life is going to have something bad happen. Now, how do you change that? That's a question a lot of people actually ask when they hear about that. I hope y'all didn't just catch that because apparently the cat's just pissed the wife off. So, but anyhow, but anyhow, you can change your thought. You can change how you view stuff. You can change your perspective of whatever it is that is going on in your world. You want to say you want to be able to you have well here you go. Trying to think of stuff in the brain on the fly, and it's sometimes I get 10 different scenarios jumping in my head, but the one I like the best so far on this is, say you have deemed yourself an introvert. You don't like to be around people. You're comfortable around, more comfortable. You're more secure about just going at it with yourself, and you have gotten around to where you're like, man, I have no friends. I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting around here at the house all day long, and I'm seeing people who are actually having a good time out in this world. And so I need to start finding a friend. How do I find a friend? Well, you need to go out and start talking to people is the common way to do that. And sadly, a lot of people go, oh no, oh my God, I can't do that. I don't like people. They judge me, and they look at me weird, you hear all these I ams. And an I am is probably one of the biggest programming statements in your mind that you can actually make. I am an introvert. You are identifying with being an introvert. I am an abuse survivor. I am a rape survivor. I am all these different I ams that accentuate the negative in your life. Well, you can change that by changing what you're telling yourself, changing those programming languages that you are using. Instead of saying, I am a survivor, I am an abused person, I am somebody who doesn't, pardon me, I am somebody who is stronger from my experiences. I am an introvert, yeah, but to take that instead of saying that you're an introvert, you can actually just start saying that I am I am an outgoing person. You can make those changes. Now you have to really keep pounding away at those I am words. I am an outgoing person. I am I am a conversationalist. I can make different meaningful different types of conversations. I can do these types of things. And to be able to tell yourself that, you can actually start making the steps needed to be able to actually do the goal of whatever it is you're wanting to actually do. So to be happy, to actually get that happiness that you deserve, you have to actually go through a process of being uncomfortable, and you have to go through the process to actually have yourself feel that you earn that happiness. Yes, you have to actually earn the ability to be happy. If you're not someone who is always taking the looking at the positive side, you're not ever practicing the attitude of gratitude to perpetuate a cliche. You're going to have to do some uncomfortable stuff so that you can get into that mindset of being happy. So do you deserve to be happy? Well, if you would like to be happy. Do you deserve to have a happy life? Yes, if you are willing to do the work to earn it. And being happy doesn't mean being comfortable. And a lot of people confuse that a lot of times. They confuse the ability to be happy. They confuse the ability to be able to enjoy what's around them with the fact that they think that they deserve that. And I think I just completely jumped two different thoughts at once. And so But you can deserve to be happy because when you allow yourself to be happy, when you've done that work, when you've gotten uncomfortable and you've gotten yourself through that thin, and it's a very thin veil of discomfort, of fear, and you can pierce that veil and you can get through it and on the other side, and you've developed the skill to actually be able to walk through that veil of discomfort and fear, you find, oh, wow, this is so much better. Yeah, you get to be more happy because you took the chance and took the challenge to actually go through and experience a little bit of discomfort, because most of the time, unless you're a skydiver, when you make mistakes, those mistakes don't do any harm to you. Yeah, you may have a little bruised ego here or there. You may actually even you may end up, being slightly ostracized from the group that you have because you may decided you wanted to be a different person. But because you actually took the time, took the energy, took the will and the discipline to actually be happy, you actually have the ability to be happy. Um, I actually made a blog post I think it was a couple of weeks ago, about the recipe of happiness, and there is a recipe to that. And again, the recipe is actually quite easy. It's, you got one part uh, one part discipline, 2 parts gratitude, and oh shoot, my brain just died. Uh, I think it's commitment. For some reason, commitment's jumping in my head. It's not quite the word I use, but anyhow, you have to be committed. You have to have purpose. That's what it was. You have to have purpose. You have to have discipline for that purpose, which means sometimes those little quick, likes, quick little bumps of dopamine need to be pushed off to the side and delayed. And what happens is that delaying of the dopamine for a bit actually frees up more receptors in your brain. So eventually, when it's time to celebrate the fact that you made it through that veil and you've got your 2 parts of gratitude, and you've done you've got your purpose, and you've committed to discipline. When you actually hit that level of happiness, all of a sudden you've got a lot more neuroreceptors available for that dopamine to come flooding in, and so you actually feel better and you are actually happier. So instead of having those little hits here and there, you actually start having really big wallops of happiness, and that big old wallop lasts a lot longer. So anyhow, guys, with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let you go. I want to thank you again for listening, and we're going to be trying to do this next week. I didn't make it last week because I was actually out of town and I didn't have everything here that I wanted to do, and so, and not to mention we were just, busy for running around. But anyhow, guys, thank you again for listening. I appreciate everybody who came by, looked. If you would take the time to actually share this video out, and I'm going to start trying to keep this at 10 o'clock. I like the 10 o'clock a little better than the 9 o'clock. So we're going to start trying to really push the live streams on Saturdays. Next Saturday I won't be doing one again because I'll be out and about and all around again, cruising the countryside. But the Saturdays that I am available here at the house, so that I can start get my setups and stuff, we'll do this. And somewhere along the way, maybe I'll start doing it, live amongst the town and stuff. So with that, guys, thank you again for listening, y'all, and watching, and we will catch you next week. All right, bye.